For our devotions this week, I'll be sharing on the theme that God shows no partiality, that God shows no favoritism. And we're going to hear this theme from the Torah, from the first 5 books of the Bible, all the way through the New Testament. And we're going to start the week back in the book of Deuteronomy. And if you were to turn in your own Bible to Deuteronomy chapter 10, beginning at verse 12, all the way through chapter 11, verse 32, there's this climactic section about what the Lord requires from God's people. I'm encouraging you to look at just the end of chapter 10 today, from verses 12 through 21. And starting at verse 12, listen to what it says. So now, O Israel, what does the Lord require of you? So what does God want? Only to fear the Lord your God, and that is to fear with awesome, holy reverence. It's not fear like God's going to hurt me. Fear the Lord your God, to walk in all his ways, to live obediently to how God calls us and tells us and wants us to live, to love him, to reciprocate God's love for us, to serve the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul, and to keep the commandments of the Lord your God and his decrees that I am commanding you today. And here's the most important part: for your own well-being. Everything that God commands the people to do is for their own benefit and for the benefit of their common welfare, the benefit of their society, their culture, if you will. And then a few verses later down in verse 17, it says, for the Lord your God is God of gods and Lord of lords, the great God, mighty and awesome, who is not partial and takes no bribe. And he goes on to say, who executes justice for the orphan and the widow, who loves the strangers, providing them food and clothing. You also shall love the stranger, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. And this passage in Deuteronomy says a great deal to us about not only that God is just and that God cares about justice, but God wants God's people to establish justice, to live as a just society. And so it's making the point, God's not someone you can pay off with a bribe. People, unfortunately, from the lowest in society to the most powerful, human sin has shown us right up to the present day that people can be bought off. Their favor can be bought with money, with favors, with benefits. And Deuteronomy says, not so with God. And God is going to treat people with justice, with impartiality, whether they are rich or poor, and is going to see that those who are at the very bottom, the most vulnerable, those like the widow, the orphan, and the stranger, the alien, that they will receive just treatment. And that's what a healthy and good society provides. So God shows no partiality. You're going to hear about that in the message, and you're going to be hearing about that throughout the week.